Um, hi. So today I want to talk about more stuff. Let's see. You guys know about electrokinetic signals, right? Well, they're connected to the ley lines of the brain. And the ley lines of the brain, well, they're what makes imagination possible. Or rather, it allows you to channel imagination. And through the electrokinetic signals in the nervous system, you can cast arts, right? And being able to cast arts allows you to use all sorts of magic arts. Of course, you know, it does require a couple things. For example, you need to have a talent for said magic, which everybody's talent is very different from each other. Yeah. I mean, after all, art is a thing that's very various between a lot of people. Yeah, it's as vast as the sea is of stars, it's as vast as the ocean of stars in the universe, or as the sand in the sea. As imagination is a realm of infinite possibilities, you see. Which is why everyone's arts can be so different, even though they might seem similar. There is a such thing. Of course, if you use arts for good, it will become a wonderful thing for good, and will become one will have wondrous forms. However, if you use it for more destructive purposes, it does become more malicious in nature and can become rather warped and twisted, which is what a lot of my villains have, actually. Furthermore, there's no such thing as bad art. There's no such thing as bad arts or anything. It just requires a bunch of practice to actually get good at using the arts. And well, if you're out of practice or you haven't been practicing, you're probably not going to be very good at it. So you need to practice with it. And why yeah. There is a such thing as arts corruption as well as arts purification. That is the arts purification is to purify arts and allow it to be safe and allow it to be safer to use since sometimes it does become corrupted by people's actions and choices and intents, and can kind of build up over time, which is something that happens a lot with humans, which is why their arts are sealed, because that kind of thing can happen. Oh wait, maybe I should change that sometime. Yeah, it's my lore. I can make whatever rules I want. Alright, yeah. The arts corruption is sometimes what happens when undue influences over you that kind of causes your arts to be turned towards whatever the goals of whatever that undue influence is. For example, in my lore, there was a villain named Father Dole who was a corrupt priest who was using their own arts to kind of overwrite other people's arts inside their mental space. Yes, there is mental space. It's basically the world inside of people's minds. Of course, it also is connected to imaginary space, which is the collective of that. Although, you really don't want villains like that to have access to that, trust me. After all, Father Dole is kind of the reason why tulpas are sealed away in an imaginary space. After all, tulpas used to be very possible to be able to make into reality. You know, for real, and make them their own living beings. But you know, people like Father Dole decide to try and take advantage of that. And for nefarious purposes, and some admittedly weighty decisions that the person who did it kind of regretted doing kind of made, was to kind of seal away tulpas to prevent them from being able to come back into the real world. Luckily, because they realized that tulpas did have some negative traits from people that would become a problem later on. And people having access to imaginary space could have potential problems if people started using it for a lot of evil, you see. Alright, yeah. It is possible to fix problems inside of people's mental spaces and be able to be a therapy though. That's where psychokinetic linking comes in. Which psychokinetic linking allows people to basically enter into other people's mental spaces. Although it's not always used for good purposes. I, however, want to use it for as good a purpose as I possibly can. Yeah. As some people's inner darkness does manifest in mental space. Yeah, as monsters of the id, which are what Topos become if they become corrupted by too much negative psychic energy inside of people's minds. Which, yeah, it does affect art as well, as I previously mentioned. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. I'm trying now. Anyway, shit, what else do I want to talk about? Sorry. Right up. Purifying mental space can be kind of dangerous, given that since people's minds are incredibly complex and there's lots of very sensitive components that if you mess around with them can be potentially hazardous to their mental states, which can be very dangerous. Some villains like Lumina Knight, though, or Father Dull or any of the other ones, if they were able to access the mental space or imaginary space whatsoever, they would definitely use it for their own ends, which is something a lot of people are rightly afraid of. However, did you know that fairies like me, we actually were descended from people's tulpas? Yeah, that technically means I'm a product of people's imaginary space. Well, technically speaking. Although, strictly speaking, fairies pretty much became their own race once they became tulpas and became sentient life forms. In fact, there's a lot of creatures in the universe that were basically tulpas at one point that were basically made by people. And we were given sentience in life. Which is why there's so many weird places in the universe all over the place. Why there's even a realm that's full of nothing but food. Yeah, it's called the Realm of Food, yeah. I know that place because, you know, Lord Broccoli likes to cause trouble sometimes. Admittedly, he may not seem like the most serious of villains because, you know, his thing is all broccoli and stuff. But, you know, but yeah. Lord Broccoli wants to replace everything with broccoli and broccoli-related products, yeah. And I can't allow that. You know, because I imagine children everywhere would be very, very sad if that happens. Yes. Alright, now, I think that concludes what I wanted to talk about. I think next time I want to talk about Sealy and Unsealy, maybe. If I ever get around to it. Thank you all for watching, I hope you have plenty of fun. Remember to play games and have fun, okay? Bye-bye now. I really love Lady Devimon and Angelwoman. They're both so beautiful. I mean, they're both amazing, awesome warriors, yes. And great waifus. I mean,